Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. I hope everybody is doing well and having a good time wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Unless you're robbing a bank or something like that. And this is going to be the first Browns program, and again, I don't like to get into just wild speculation, so I stay out of that stuff. And when things actually start, when training camp starts, that's the beginning of the season for me. Correct. And audiences will start picking up once we get closer to the regular season. This is the way it is. And it's the dog days of baseball summer. And so
there's stop.
I wanted to remind everybody that if you go on Twitter and you check out my last post, that you'll see a link, and so I don't have to punish you with more Moohead music of my creation.
I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, you can click on that link and hear another disturbing song. So that way we separate the two things.
Charles Manson started out that way. He was like a pop star, and then he turned into a cult serial killer. So maybe you're going the same way.
Just remember, it all comes out of the same mind, which probably makes you wonder why you're even listening to this.
Correct, yes.
And why so many people don't. But you know something? I never did it. Me and Deshaun Watson.
You never did it for likes.
Deshaun doesn't do it for the fans, and I don't do it for the public and the exposure. That's just kind of the way we are. So here's where we start today. If you and again, Nick Chubb,
I'm in a cave.
Yeah, right. Nick Chubb ran full speed sprints after
no
practice.
Way.
Yes, he did.
No.
Now they would not let anybody record it.
Oh, so it didn't happen then. It's like Schrodinger's Chubb. Either he's fit or he's hurt. We don't know.
Yeah. But Jimmy Haslam was there, and he was like, woo! You better run from J.D. Vance, boy! Woo!
Woo! There's a sofa chasing you.
It's that's good news in the sense that nobody expected to see that.
No, I didn't expect him to be alive, really, at this point.
And I'm getting a bunch of people asking me, "Is like, you think he'll be ready to play in week 1?" And again, I don't get into speculation, but it would be hard for me to believe that he would start week 1. And if he doesn't, they're not. The PUP will force him to miss the first 4 games of the season. And
4 or 6?
4.
4.
And
you checked this, so.
Yep. Okay. And, here's the deal with that. If, amazing recovery and all this stuff aside, if you want him to even have a chance to be what he could be, you don't want to waste it by rushing him out onto the field like that.
No.
So,
no. If he's fit in November, man, that's good enough for me, I think.
And again, speculation. It's that he also did like cone work. He was doing.
Oh no, all that sagging and cutting, and
he was doing everything that. Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable that he could even do this.
Think of the Browns' history. I mean, we had with Charles Bentley, who died on the first preseason snap with his knees, and we had Gary Baxter, who blew out both of his legs on the same play. I mean, did anybody really think that Nick Chubb was going to break this snide we have of horrible injuries?
I don't know. What I do know is that if you want him to have a chance to pull this off, you give him every opportunity in the world. And I don't give a shit about publicity and whether that's the story of the week in the NFL or whatever. We're not trying to prove that he is the bionic man. We're just trying to hope that Nick Chubb can help the team this year. And just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
can you do the Bionic Man noise? The noise.
No, I never watched that program.
You never watched the $6 Million Man?
No, Lee Miners. No, because he wasn't a very good actor. So
No, he was like horrible.
Not my guy.
No, okay.
So basically, here's what Mary Kay Cabbagehead said about it. Just watched Nick Chubb running full sprints after practice and cutting with tremendous agility.
Yeah, it was
sorry. Tremendous agility. It was remarkable. We weren't allowed to film it. Jimmy Haslam watched the whole thing and looked very pleased. And that's what we're getting. Tom Withers saying the same thing.
Oh, God.
Nick Chubb ran sprints and did some cutting drills. Media was asked not to film. I can relay that he looked very impressive.
Well, he's always very impressive. There you go.
So, so that really happened. That's not fake news. All right.
Wow. That's 11 months after he got killed by the Steelers. That's only 11 months, even maybe 10 and a half.
But how long has it been since he actually got the surgery?
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, it may be only like 8 or 9 months since he got the surgery.
9 months, yeah.
And he had multiple surgeries, not just one.
They had to find all the rubber bands needing replacing, yeah.
And, of course, they're pestering Deshaun Watson some more in the press. And,
Oh, that's so 2022. I mean, move on. I mean,
well, here he goes. They asked, him what his process was. He goes, honestly, it's really just blocking out all the bullshit outside.
And that's hard enough for anybody, let alone him.
He said, stuff coming in 2 years, different environment, different team, different all that, Watson said. So you come in and your character is being mentioned this way, and it kind of flips on you, and you're trying to get people to like you or improve. But now it's like at the end of the day, it's 2 years.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
And if you don't like me or you have your own opinion, it is what it is. I'm blocking out all the noise and focusing on me. Focusing on what I need to do to be the best Deshaun Watson I can be for my family and for my teammates.
Oh, let's do this song. Be all that you can be. The U.S. Army wants you.
Yeah. It's, and they just keep bringing it up and bringing it up. And you want to know something? I'm going to be real blunt about this.
Go for it.
What J.D. Vance said is worse than anything that Deshaun Watson did.
Yep.
Because he's a man who
yeah.
He could be one heartbeat away from the presidency, and he's saying that women should be child bearers, and if they don't bear children, that their vote will be diminished in count.
And he also said that they should stay in abusive relationships as well. If you could get the crap beat out of you, well, that's okay.
So, I mean, I think everybody's values are fucked up completely. And every person who is still writing negative things about Deshaun Watson, get off the bus. As far as I'm concerned, you're not Browns fans. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. If you continue the assault on this person's character after 2 fucking years in something that he wasn't even guilty of, that he settled outside of court and gave now invisible women money that we don't even know how much money that they received. Yeah. If you're still doing that, you know what you are? You're a fucking MAGA person, and I don't want you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Well, people are fucking fundamentalist, crazy motherfuckers.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I can't sit and watch this country go in this direction. It's hateful.
Oh, look, absolutely.
We're just trying to watch a football game, man. Trying to watch a football game.
And from my perspective, this whole Deshaun Watson thing started about 4 fucking prime ministers ago. I mean, things have moved on so fast over here. You have no idea. I mean, I'm sick of hearing about it. That was back when, like, Boris Johnson, Theresa May were, like, alive. Go away.
And to me, it's sports. And the bottom line is, if you can't separate politics from sports, get the fuck away from me. Stop writing shit to me. Stop addressing me on social media. Leave me the fuck alone, because you're not going to change my mind about a goddamn thing.
And you're not going to change theirs. So there you have it.
Yeah, it's pointless. But as far as Watson is concerned, I want him to do well. I want the team to do well. I want the team to win. I think it's going to be a real difficult time for the Cleveland Browns. Yes, but there are other things that are interesting as well. And we'll get to how this all comes together. But with Watson, saying that it's been difficult to block all the noise out, his quote was, "I'm a person that likes to have people like me, and I feel like a lot of people are like that. So sometimes things in your brain, you've just got to churn. You've got to be like, forget it. It is what it is." And that's the best thing you can do, is focus on his job. Because everyone's bitching about how much money he's getting paid when other people are being paid more.
Okay, Tua Tagovailoa or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's the latest in the parade. Yeah, now, what the hell has he done with his little weak left arm?
Oh, he has a noodle arm.
It's incredible. And nobody says a goddamn thing. But the fact is, as always has been, to be a quarterback, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid big money. And everybody's willing to go out on a limb in the hopes that they find the next great
Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yep. Now, here's something that I say: for all the problems, and we'll get to some of the problems the Browns are enduring already, there are a few things that make me feel like, well, everyone's saying, well, the AFC North is the greatest of all the divisions, and to be honest, that's why we're doing the Hard Knock series throughout the season, to keep reminding people about the AFC North and about how great the Steelers and Ravens are, and what a disappointment the Browns are, and what a great Captain Clean white guy Joe Burrow is.
Oh, God. Have you seen his hair?
Oh.
The guy's more hillbilly than that guy who claims to be a hillbilly.
Yeah, but he wears flashy clothes. He's trying to be Joe Namath.
He's trying to be a gangster, hillbilly gangster type thing going on. It's
really silly.
It's ridiculous.
And it's all promotional horse shit. But for their part, the Ravens, John Harbaugh stands up.
Oh, my God, John Harbaugh.
In front of the press.
Okay.
And he says, I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to be the greatest quarterback who's ever played this game.
He didn't.
Yes, he did. That is a verbatim quote. He is going to be the greatest of all time. Now let's stop and think about, like, Muhammad Ali was the greatest boxer
LeBron
of
James,
all time.
Yeah, Pele, Wayne Gretzky.
Or if you want to say Michael Jordan, if you want, Wayne Gretzky would be another, Yeah, it's and then in track and field,
Jesse Owens,
and
Carl Lewis,
and in gymnastics, you can go through,
Biles,
Serena Williams, in tennis, you can,
Bjorn Borg,
a goat. All right,
no,
and do you realize he's already 28 years old?
No, I didn't know he was that old.
This guy. More is being said about nothing.
28.
His team consistently has a great defensive scheme, holds teams to low point totals.
Correct.
All right. And so he's in every game that he's in.
Yep.
He doesn't score a whole lot of points or create a whole lot of points. So he has this really good win percentage, but if you're looking at the GOATs, I mean, let's start with Aaron Rodgers.
Jump in quickly here and say that Lamar Jackson is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes, and I fucking can't stand Patrick Mahomes, but I'd much rather have him on my team than Lamar Jackson. And he's actually won shit, you know?
Well, see, that's the other thing. That great winning percentage doesn't hold into the playoffs because Lamar Jackson doesn't throw the football well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't throw the long ball. They've given him a lot of outside speed, but his first instinct is to pull it down and run with the football. And he's lost more weight in the offseason. So he's going to pull it down. He's going to run some more. And that has led to injuries. And how anybody could say something stupid like Harbaugh said made me start thinking.
That's amazing.
And I've come to a conclusion about why he said it.
Why did he say it?
Because maybe somebody doesn't believe it anymore.
Oh. Well,
I mean,
trying to boost Lamar up?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, there's no reason why you would put that on the mantle of a guy who has been a failure in the playoffs, who hasn't won a Super Bowl, and that you would bring this up. The guy's having self-doubts.
Mark. Tony Romo's won more than fucking Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson comes out of the practice field for the first time in training camp, and after 1 hour, he left and said he was sick.
Bleh.
If I were a Ravens fan, I'd be sick of him. He's hurt whenever you need him to be healthy. He's always got that hip pocket excuse. And I think for all the talk of, I want to be a billionaire, I want to be like LeBron, I want to be a billionaire. The one thing he's never said is, I want to be the greatest quarterback who ever lived. He's never said that because he can't be. He can't be. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late for it to happen. Stop and look at Aaron Rodgers' statistics.
Okay.
Look at Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger, as much as I hate the guy, threw for like 60,000 yards in his career.
Fucking much better average career. Much better.
60,000 yards. And do you know how many yards Lamar Jackson? Like 25,000 yards at this point.
Wow.
He's already 28 and he's injured every year. I mean, in order to do what Ben Roethlisberger did, you have to play for a long, long time and maybe even play a season or two too long in order to get to those numbers.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to build up that kind of portfolio to be considered the greatest of all time.
If Lamar's career stopped today, he would never make it in the Hall of Fame.
No,
not in a million years.
And so why would you put that pressure on his shoulders? Because he's trying to talk the guy up.
That's got to be it.
There's no other reason. Otherwise. It's a stupid thing to say because now if he goes out and does the same thing and he's kind of wins through the season because his defense is really good and they've got a couple of better running backs or whatever the case may be, or they finally got more linebackers who can late hit people and injure them. Whatever the story is with the Ravens, he's going to be judged strictly by the second season if they get there.
Correct.
If they don't get there, then it's all off the table this season. Basically, he can't be the greatest quarterback of all time. With this team, this roster.
Well, if they don't make the playoffs, Harbaugh gets fired. Harbaugh gets fired and Jackson gets sent away.
And then it won't matter what he thinks.
Correct.
So, again, does Harbaugh really believe this? Well, I think what he believes is that
Deshaun, it doesn't matter.
That Deshaun Watson could very well outplay his quarterback this year. It's entirely possible.
Any of the four could be the top quarterback in the division. Any of the four guys.
And
more likely than others, but
Lamar Jackson never had a season statistically like Deshaun Watson did in Houston. He hasn't done it yet. And again, if it's like, well, but look, they get to the playoffs, but I'll say, look, they lose every time they're in the playoffs. I mean, how many times? And if they don't get to the playoffs, then it's off the table completely. There's no upside,
Well, somebody's not getting to the playoffs in our division.
Yeah, but there's no upside for the head coach to say that about that player. I don't know. Unless he's trying to prove that he's a prophet. I have no idea.
It's
very
crazy.
Strange. All right. So that's the good news there. The good news from Pittsburgh is that they're all ready for training camp. And Russell Wilson wakes up and goes, my calf hurts. And he doesn't show up to practice. And there's Justin Fields out there going, yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. Look, you know what the Steelers are doing? Because they always say, oh, the Steelers always have the answer to this and that. Well,
they always have a plan, yeah.
Was Mason Rudolph the answer?
No.
Was Kenny Little Hands Pickett the answer?
No, not that duck guy either. I can't even remember his last name.
Yeah.
Quack, quack, quack.
I mean, what has Pittsburgh done? And the answer is they're following last year's Cleveland Browns playbook, which is get an old quarterback and pray to the baby Jesus that he somehow pulls one more great season out of his ass.
Yeah.
So that's what they're hoping for. But what we know from our own experience.
Well,
is that, and look, Joe Flacco, my hat off to him.
Yeah, but that was so long ago now. I mean, how long ago does that feel like?
Look, it was wonderful what he did. It was a heartwarming story.
Yeah.
And it made
clock struck midnight and he turned into a pumpkin.
Yeah, but old guys like me kind of knew that he was working on borrowed time. Hey, Big Lurker, how you doing? Christopher Milton, hello. Amsterdam, hello. Double P, hello. Rick May, hello. Hello to everybody.
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in the same division anymore, me and Big Lurker.
Ah.
Yeah.
So, they're hoping that Russell Wilson at 35 is going to come in and give them that 1 year savior thing so they can make Justin Fields, they're going to build him up. And you know something? It never worked.
No.
Because 35 with, my calf hurts when he gets up in the morning, there was no prior indication of any injury. He just woke up and said, God, I can't go. And so it will be. Just like Flacco, you were waiting for him to start throwing off his back foot and throwing interceptions because he did that when he was young. Why wouldn't he do it when he's 39 years old? I mean, eventually, the jig is up. And, you face the music. If you don't have a long-term solution in the NFL at the quarterback position, you're going to be doing what the Browns did, which is, we're going to take a shot on Johnny Manziel. We're going to take a shot on Brandon Weeden. We're going to take a shot
Brady Quinn.
on Brady Quinn or on Deshaun Kaiser. Or, you're going to be drifting with lower pick quarterbacks who are like Kenny Little Hands Pickett, who just don't.
Yeah, but those were all first rounders. And I would argue that Quinn was the worst first rounder we got, even including Manziel. So
no, Manziel was the worst.
It's a tough one though, isn't it? But yeah.
So I'm at least a little bit stoked. And with Cincinnati, I'm not hearing a whole hell of a lot except that T. Higgins wants the hell out of there after this season, and that Burrow's hurt all the time. But
yeah. So what's Mary Kay Cabot? Is she doing the Bengals this year, or what's the deal with Cleveland.com?
That's a personal question. I don't know if she's doing any or all of the Bengals.
She could be doing all the Bengals.
Yeah, I have no idea. What I do know is that everything's quiet regarding the Bengals and very quiet surrounding Joe Burrow because nobody wants to build expectations like they do to watch Deshaun Watson fail. Nobody wants to build him up to watch him fail again.
Yeah.
All right. So now here's the problem for Cleveland, because it's like, hey, Tom Hawley, how you doing? Are you sure you're seeing this okay? I'm just, I'm.
No. He's got moo-colored glasses on.
You know what I did? I smeared gasoline over this little
you did.
camera, and so you want to talk about a buzzkill? You go to training camp first day, and Kevin Stefanski runs out and says, "I'm calling all the plays this year."
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yes, he did.
He didn't. Oh,
yes, he did.
I didn't know that. I haven't followed this.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He comes up Thursday afternoon in front of the press, the very first day, and he says, "You can tell everybody I'm going to call the plays this year, so we'll get that out of the way. I know everybody's interested. Any decision I make for our football team, I take a lot of information in. I try to listen to a lot of people. I make decisions. I need you."
Wow.
Make it stop with the self-gratification.
Wow.
I don't get it. It's like, so what's Ken Dorsey going to do? It's like, ask Alex Van Pelt.
Smash his laptop up in the thing. I don't know.
So, and this was on the heels of the fact that the Browns were talking to some free agent tight end. It's like,
oh yeah, like, don't we have Aiden Camp already?
Oh,
it's just painful, isn't it?
So here's my concerns. You have Amari Cooper, who at one time in his life ran a 4.42 40. Okay.
Yeah, that was like 5 prime ministers ago.
Long time ago. All right. Then you had Moore, who ran at one time a 4.35. All right.
Yeah, the prophet Elijah.
Yeah. And now Cedric Tillman can run a 4.52. That means he'd be nose to nose with Donovan Peoples-Jones. All right.
Yep.
And then you have Jerry Punchin Judy, and Jerry Judy runs a 4.46. At least he did. That was his, combine number. So we don't have any burners. Again, for all the talk about, we're going to let Deshaun Watson spread the ball around and we're going to open up the field. Who's going to get down there?
Who's going to be open? Yeah. They're going to have 5 guys draped on them.
I don't understand. I mean, it's like we're going to be, once again, forcing the ball into narrow windows 12 yards down the field. And if I have to look at 4th down play calling, I'm going to go over the edge.
No, so am I. I mean, no. I don't want to watch that.
So for every good thing, there's a not so good thing. And it's not that I have anything against Kevin Stefanski being the head coach, but I've seen nothing that would make me think that he is an excellent play caller. I just haven't seen that. And in fact, some of the worst calls, you know what it reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
Sam Bertigliano after his luck ran out. All right. Yeah. And I love Sam. God only knows. I love Sam. But, here's the thing. You take away Brian Sipe and you give him Paul McDonald. And,
you're
going to have a lot of 4th and got to go for it situations. And it just didn't pay off. So he got shit canned. But it was for a whole bunch of different reasons, not that. But we've already seen it with this guy. And Stefanski has made backward pitches on 4th down, outsmarting himself. Too many damn times.
There were plays that weren't even rehearsed that he called. They didn't even know where to line up, and It's just wrong.
And there's Mary Kay Cabbagehead's headline. Why Kevin Stefanski's decision to call plays again instead of giving it to Ken Dorsey is the right choice. It's because you're filleting him. That's the reason why. Because you don't want to start off the season saying anything bad, but the fact of the matter is you've got to learn what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Do you think that I programmed my radio stations? Fuck no. Hired really good people. Three guys. Michael Savage, who was
Leroy,
my first program director, who I met in Spokane, Washington. I brought him over to Michigan. And Scott Seipel, who was originally the night guy, then the morning guy, then became the program director and in Flint. And Don Hurley, who I refer to as Jacko because that was his air name, who came with me to bring them to New York. And these folks were the ones who put in the time and effort. I was working with salespeople, and I oversaw things, but I didn't, have the desire to nickel and dime and to have my hand in everything. I wasn't.
You were the lead singer, front of the house guy, glad handing and getting the sales in, and they were doing the X's and O's, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, if there was something that hit the air that I wasn't very fond of, they would hear about it.
Correct.
That didn't happen. They were really good people who knew what they were doing. So there's nothing wrong with delegating. I mean, it can't be about me, because one thing I learned about business, and it's the thing that bothers me so much today, is everything is business because it's money. And we judge people by how much money they make, how successful they are as business people. And that was never what it was about for me. I mean, that might be a result if things go right for you and you're fortunate.
Yeah.
But, you can't guarantee that your idea is going to, it's going to bear fruit and it's going to be profitable. You can't do that. So, you find all the best people you can find and you give them an opportunity to contribute. And Ken Dorsey's
common sense, really.
Well, Ken Dorsey is supposed to have had his hand in the creation of plays that will help this team get the ball down the field more.
Correct.
Now, if those plays don't get selected by Kevin Stefanski, then it's all gone for naught. And we're going to find out. He ain't going to lie his way through this. Either we see signs of Deshaun Watson being allowed to do what he can do, or we're going to see signs of him checking down and Jacoby Brissetting. Because,
honestly,
I mean, we had this guy, 39-year-old guy last year with a strong arm, and he was trying to force everything in, 9, 10, 11 yards down the field, and then an occasional surprise strike downfield.
Correct.
But, Deshaun Watson, who is known for taking sacks, trying to buy himself more time to make big plays, my question is, who's going to be downfield? Wide open if he extends plays, and I don't know the answer to that at all.
I'm worried.
At all. So, Amari Cooper is real happy dealing with Ken Dorsey. I just hope that whatever plays we have in mind that utilize the players that we have, and time will tell whether that's the case. The other thing that you feel sorry about is, here we go again, players who are on the non-football injury list. Nyheim Hines, his knee, of course, is still.
Oh, my knee!
The modern day contemporary Gale Sayers, who we only have an interest in to return kickoffs because of this helter-skelter rule. that has been changed. And then Greg Newsome, whose hamstring is hurting. And so he's on the NFI. And they're saying, we're hoping these people are ready for week 1 of the regular season. You're not going to see them preseason at all.
Wow. So it's going to be after September 11th that we see these guys.
Physically unable to perform list. How about DeAnthony Bell, one of our best special teams players?
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, who we've already spoken about. Of course, Jack Conklin, who has claimed his stake to on the PUP list.
He is the king of PUP.
And get this, Dalvin Tomlinson.
Wow.
Who out of nowhere suddenly he's getting a scope on his knee.
Wow.
Lovely, isn't it?
Hope he's not going to the Cleveland Clinic for that.
And the slowest healing man in the West.
Lonnie Chisenhall.
No, Jedrick Wills Jr.
Oh, Jedrick Wills. He beats Lonnie Chisenhall. He's like the Lonnie Chisenhall of the offensive line.
Yeah, his knee is still kaput. So we're hoping to see these people week 1 of the season. So if you're planting yourself in front of the television, watching these silly preseason games that shouldn't even exist. And by the way, the NFL is already
they're doing it. They're doing that.
Deep discussion for an 18-game season.
Oh, God, let's get them all killed.
Hey, it doesn't matter about life after football to the owners because there is no life after football. They
Except
move
for
on.
them.
That's right. They move on to make more money, and the guys who play the game are crippled and end up with dementia.
Yeah, the owners are all like 90 fucking years old.
Yeah, unreal. So that you all know, yes, Elijah Moore ran a 4.35 40. That was all the way back during.
I don't know. That was
the combine
pre-plague. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot, but he's the fastest of the bunch, and he showed no ability to run patterns.
No,
his yards per catch were not. I mean, it wasn't like we were looking at somebody who has like an 18, 19 yard per catch. I mean, he was catching like 9, 10, 11 yard passes.
Yeah.
He was breaking off patterns to the outside, and we were trying to give him double reverses and shit like that. But I saw no evidence that he was beating anyone downfield for long gains.
No.
He didn't do it all year.
No.
So he may be fast, but if he doesn't run a good pattern, what does it matter? And he's been an underachiever since he got into the league with the Jets. I see no reason to expect things to go that much different. They're really pimping Cedric Tillman now, who didn't know which way to run last year. No. And it was aggravating that, Flacco was saying, no, you're supposed to run that way. And he's like, which way?
He looked like a 12-year-old out there on the JV team. Running around.
Physical gifts. He can go up and get the ball. He's got the size at 6'3". But the question is, if he's not on the same page as the quarterback and he's on the wrong part of the field, then the quarterback's never going to see him.
Yeah.
And he was giving up on patterns. Everyone is saying how hard he's worked during the offseason. We shall see.
You ever notice that they only say that about lazy fuckers? Oh, he's worked really hard in the offseason. Did they ever say that about LeBron? Like, oh, he's worked really hard in the offseason. Because everybody knew he worked hard in the offseason. It's only the lazy fuckers who ever get said, oh, he's working really hard in the offseason.
It doesn't matter. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, these people all worked their ass off.
Kobe Bryant,
some of them worked their ass off to become as good as they became. Now, you could make the argument that Kobe didn't put as much effort into defense. I mean, the play, it turns out, that was LeBron's biggest play in Cleveland was the chase down block.
Play,
So, some guys do it all,
Some
and
guys specialize.
Michael Jordan was tenacious. He could score, but he also he could play
defend.
rough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He'd get his team fired up. I mean, he was focused, and he knew the moment that he was in,
Yeah, he didn't choke.
And, nobody argued with MJ because he was the greatest who played in his day.
Yeah.
And Larry Bird worked his ass off and, played hurt, fell to the floor to get to the free throw line, racked his back up, but these guys were all really incredibly tough. The thing that hurt Kobe more than anything is that he spent the early years arguing with Shaq about who God was. And that gets a little old.
Wow.
So what I feel as far as the Browns are concerned, I think that let's wait. You're not going to learn anything until you hit game one. And you know what I always say, the first 4 weeks will tell you which way the season's going to go.
Yeah.
And because the Browns notoriously get off to really bad starts. Last year was better. You really want to be in a position where you're 3-1 after 4 weeks. Correct. Because the schedule is going to get rapidly harder for the Browns. It's going to be really, really difficult. And, that's what it is. So
the Browns, though, I'm going to make it something, we thought that the Guardians would be I thought the Guardians would be awful this year. They have surprised us. They're doing well. And I think part of their success could be what could be part of the Browns' future success this year is that we look at the team and we focus it on the Guardians, we focus it on the Browns, and we think, oh, they got problems here, they got problems there, they can't do this. But you know what? The other teams are just as shitty. I think we have problems with our teams, but they could surprise us because the other teams don't have all the answers either.
Well, I can tell you because you're transitioning to the Guardians, who are dead in the water right now.
Yeah, correct.
And some of the things really worked out great for Stephen Vogt in the beginning of the year. The first half of the season, or up to the till 2 weeks before the All-Star game, and it seems like magical decisions were being made. Guys were coming up for the minor leagues, contributing and getting big hits with men on base. They had incredible batting averages. Andre Jimenez had incredible batting average with men in scoring position. All of it has imploded.
Yeah,
and here's the truth about the Guardians. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact because we knew this a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and that's that their minor league organization sucks.
It's gutted. It's absolutely.
It doesn't produce the kinds of players that we need in order to, like who's the next Jose Ramirez going to be? And there ain't one.
No.
So you've got, you had Arias and Rocchio and Schneemann. That's our shortstops.
That's terrible. And that's one of the positions that has to be strong,
And none of them are major league players.
No.
None of them.
No.
And, putting Schneemann at shortstop, he's made 3 errors in 10 games. He's not the answer.
Wow.
So
3 errors.
So on that side of your infield, you have Jimenez, who's a really good second baseman, but he stopped hitting. You had Josh Naylor, who you knew couldn't continue hitting the way he was early in the season, because as the season goes on, he's 25 pounds overweight and he gets hurt invariably. So this should come as no surprise. And how about the people they keep bringing up? You had Rodriguez that they brought up, and he hit 125 and they sent him back down. They got Noel, Big Christmas, And I don't know if you saw the game yesterday, a 3-pitch at bat where he swung at 3 pitches that were nowhere near the plate.
Fucking hell. That's Russell Branyan-esque.
I mean, just all or nothing from that player. And now Witt from Kansas City has pulled even with Stephen Kwan for batting average.
Wow.
Kwan had that big lead, so Kwan's down to like 344 and right there is Bobby Witt Jr. So so even he slowed down. Only 1 or 2 home runs for Jose, and no big long balls or big RBIs for him, and he was going at such a great pace. You look at the other guys in the minor league system, and you're saying, from a pitching perspective, Logan Allen hasn't gotten it, and and Tristan McKenzie isn't getting it, and you're sitting there and saying, well, who are we developing down there? And so they're saying, well, no, Jose Tena, and it's like, look. He's hitting 275, 280 in the minor leagues, but he's got like 15 home runs, and that's AAA.
Yeah.
And part of me believes that this running of players was to
showcase them.
Yes. I mean, so they could, and of course, everyone's like, no, we're not trading for that shit. Because you just proved to us they're not major league players.
Yeah, they should have just kept them down in the minor leagues and hope for the best. I mean, they tried to do the Bob Barker Price is Right thing, and nobody went for it.
And not only that, but I mean, our bullpen has been so great, but the starting pitchers, when they do pitch a good game, guy like Gavin Williams pitched a great game. He had 1 hanging pitch that left the ballpark. Baez hit a home run. He hadn't hit a home run since 1982. And so it's 3-0 and the game's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So pitchers can't afford to make one goddamn mistake right now because the players can't hit.
Yeah.
Why are they swinging? I mean, I'm watching the Tigers, and the Tigers had 10 times more plate discipline than the Guardians. The Guardians would get up in the count 3-1 with a man on first and nobody out, and then start hacking at whatever pitch. And they would be ball 4 on 2 occasions. And instead of just taking their base and moving things along and allowing things organically to happen, everyone wants to be a fucking hero. And they're all just swinging and missing at stuff in the dirt that's over their head. Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And it's turned so quickly.
Yeah, well, I'm going to still stand by my point that the other teams aren't that good either. So we'll see what happens.
And listen to the fans. You know what the fans are saying? No, they're saying, look, we're still up there. We're still 4.5 games ahead of the Twins. And, we got to bring Kyle Manzardo back up.
Kyle Manzardo. Wow.
Well, Kyle Manzardo is hitting 222 right now in his last 25 games at AAA.
That's such a great name, though. He should be playing defensive end like Kyle Alzado. Kyle Manzardo.
Lyle Alzado.
Yeah, that sounds like a NFL name, though. Kyle Manzardo.
Yeah, and
it's the wrong sport.
So not only a 222 average, he's only since he left Cleveland, he's only hit 3 home runs and 4 doubles.
Well, they destroyed his soul like we do to everybody that we bring up and send back down.
I mean, and you think he's going to come up? He was overmatched. His bat was slow. I'm seeing guys with slow bats who are behind fastballs who've never seen off-speed pitches. Teams are beating us consistently and shutting us out with bullpen games.
Oh God, that is a bit insulting.
Bring another guy in. Bring 5 fucking pitchers, and we don't get a run off a single one of them. It's unbelievable. So right now, I'm just shaking my head and saying,
Oh, got a question for you. I did
yeah,
happen to catch a bit of the one game where Bobby was playing, and I
yeah.
had my usual 1 pound going. And then the minute he got hurt, I cashed out, turned the game off. Now, what's up with him? Is he dead or what happened to him?
Cramped.
He cramped.
Hey, Rocks. Hey, look who it is.
Wow.
She is Titania. Oh, okay.
Anyway, what happened? What happened? Is he still
He
alive?
just, he
Dehydrated,
came
huh?
came across the third base line, and he literally jumped in the air because he
Yep.
had this
I
massive
saw
cramp
that.
in his leg.
Oh my
A
God.
massive cramp above his knee, and it looked like it was somewhere in the thigh area.
Oh, he hit it pretty well then, if that's what it was. I mean, I'd be like rolling around on the ground dying if it
Yeah,
was me.
but he had to go out of the game, and he has been a good pitcher. And the guy Ben Lively had been a good pitcher. He was 8-2. Now he's 8-6 because he's getting no run support,
No runs.
and he's giving up gopher balls. And
Yeah.
we've got a pitching staff right now that is unfortunately giving up a lot of home runs when we can't afford to do that because we're not putting crooked numbers on the board. So
Well,
this is not a vote against vote, okay? This is not a rap on the manager of the
he's
team.
doing the best he can.
Yes, this
He's
is
doing the best he can.
the realization
That we're
that
not that good.
of having a bad minor league system, and you're seeing it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
So, and they have a Guardians trade deadline tracker. It's like nothing's happening.
Leave me alone.
Nothing's happening. Make that stop, please.
They're trying to make it seem like the Premier League in England. No, that's an actual deadline day tracker thing. That baseball is not.
I mean, Kyle Manzardo is hitting 275 overall in the minor leagues, but since he went back down, a 222 is pathetic.
Wow.
And that he was hitting 207 for the Guardians. So I mean, he's lost. He's lost in the woods. God help him. Yeah. So Tagovailoa ends up with $212.4 million.
Michael, you reminded me of Room 222. Michael Constantine. Wasn't he the guy with all the
he was the principal
hair? Yeah, he was the guy with the.
He was the principal. Lloyd Haynes was the male teacher, and
Karen Valentine.
Karen Valentine was the student teacher, and Nicholas, I forget her first name. Yeah, she was the other teacher, and it was unbelievably integrated, that high school.
Yeah, it was at the time. Yeah, probably more so than any high school is now, even.
Yeah, so it would seem.
You gotta flash up the Hedgehog of Doom, because there wasn't a lot of death and destruction this week, but he did finally eliminate all of the four tops. All the four tops are gone. And John Mayall, the Blues Breaker, is gone as well. So,
oh really? John Mayall kicked it.
John Mayall,
that's where Eric Clapton and a whole bunch of
he was about
100.
He was about 100 years old, though. He was like older than any NFL owner. He was seriously old.
Yeah.
Hedgehog of Doom.
Yes, he's taken the black cow of death. Yeah, because he's larger and more ominous. You see,
yes,
he may look very benign to you.
Look into his eyes and don't let them fool you. That's why Topaz wants to eat him alive, because
that's it.
Yeah,
actually, the hedgehog is his friend, but you just don't get on his wrong side. The lead guitarist from Moby Grape passed away. Don't tell me it was in Omaha. Now, Rick will get the joke. I don't expect anybody else to. It's a musical joke. It's a Moby Grape joke. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and who was the other one you said besides John Mayall?
The Four Tops.
Yeah, which one of the four? Who was the last surviving top?
I can't Thacker or whatever. What was his name?
Yeah, because I know the others had passed away, and yeah, I love the Four Tops. They were really, really good.
Abdul Fakir.
Oh, okay. All right.
Duke.
See, I can see him in my mind.
Yeah. From Detroit.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah. So no more Four Tops.
Not even one top.
Exactly. Like the last time they went on concert tour, the tickets were only cost 25%. So, anyway.
And you want to talk about fucking big balls. I'm going to end up the show with this because this is more of what all of this. Well, maybe I have one more story after this. Warner Brothers Discovery is suing the NBA over losing its broadcast rights to Amazon. All right.
Oh yeah, TN. Oh yeah, I read about Charles Barkley's comments. I'm with Chuckles on this one.
Yeah. Given the NBA's unjustified rejection of our matching of a third-party offer, we have taken legal action to enforce our rights. We strongly believe this is not just our contractual right, but also in the best interest of fans who want to keep watching our industry-leading NBA content. Oh, I'm jerking myself off.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, and it's real simple. The only thing that the NBA cares about is spreading the word, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we got to go overseas. We got to find platforms that they will see everywhere in the world. Everything's streaming now. So, and if you're going to say, you know, we're taking legal action. So what you're saying in essence is that if something contractual said that we had a right to have a final bid and you match somebody else's bid, but
you don't fuck you over.
But no, if you don't have the extension of planting the seed around the world that Amazon does, you lose. Yeah. I mean, they're suing to try to force somebody to choose their offer. And that is exactly what the NFL did with Sunday Ticket. Exactly the same thing. We're going to keep giving it to DirecTV, who's going to fuck the app up every year for the first 3 weeks of the season. So you're not going to be able to watch the games, and they're going to double your price just to fuck you.
Just to fuck you in the ass.
Yep.
Fuck you on the sofa.
At the drive-through. That's what they, you know, and it's like the NBA gave them, you know, everything that they needed all those years. Then after that, now the NFL doesn't want to have anything to do with the archaic satellite infrastructure of DirecTV.
Yeah, that's all dead. Satellite dish is so 2010.
That's
but anyway, they fucked it over here too, because there was like a TNT Discovery Channel thing over here that was sold by BT, and now they've moved to Sky Sports, the NBA, with the WNBA. So now you have to have a Sky subscription to see the NBA and WNBA.
Yeah, this is the way it works. It's all going to get passed down to you folks.
Oh yeah, they fucked us here in England big time.
And they're going to fuck everybody. And, you know, again, if you're paying the price, God bless you. If you are going to different gambling sites, God bless you.
Yep.
If that's what you want to do with your family's money and your future of your children, God bless you.
Or cats.
But, you know, the bottom line is that this is really what our sports are all about.
Bilking us. Bilking the fans.
These fucking numbers are out of control.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that with all this money floating around, that these games aren't predictable in their outcome? That these things aren't being tampered with? Come on. God almighty. The last story, this one killed me.
Oh, no.
Former Kansas City Chiefs defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs has been convicted on 2 counts of misdemeanor animal cruelty charges.
Oh,
right?
you don't. Oh, we don't need to give air to this, do we?
Yeah, but wait a
Animal
minute. But there's
cruelty?
a reason I'm doing this. It's not because
Okay,
I'm an
okay.
animal lover, and
Oh,
Topaz
God,
would
we
never
all
want to
are.
hear about this. But
No, Topaz would be going, no!
they sentenced him on July 19th to a year of hard labor,
Oh,
ordering him to serve 60 days. The
wow.
rest would be suspended for 2 years pending the behavior of the defendant. He's
Okay.
not allowed to have or be around firearms or to own dogs or cats.
Okay.
And he's appealing the verdict, of course. Get this. The Chiefs released him on June 24th, 8 days after his second recent arrest in Alabama. He was arrested on a charge of domestic violence and burglary and released on a $5,000 bail. All right?
Okay.
But they kept him.
Yep.
They kept him for the domestic violence.
Yep.
So he ends up blowing away dogs, and so we're done with him. Where in the hell are the values of people in this country?
I don't know.
I love animals, but I love people too.
I think there's people that love animals more, though.
We've got people who are running for the highest office in the
land.
Oh,
God. Yeah, I mean,
women are baby makers.
They're chattel. They're chattel, basically.
Yeah.
They're slaves.
It's unbelievable. We're going backwards.
Oh, in a big
that's something that the Ayatollah would have said.
Correct.
Ayatollah you so.
Yeah.
God damn. And then this.
Wow, that's grim.
Isaiah Buggs played 3 seasons for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Great name.
You know, the Steelers always find people who will do this to people, to animals, to other players. That's where it all starts. It all starts in Pittsburgh.
Anyway, are you getting ready for Dick Goddard to tell us what the weather is going to be like?
It's supposed to stay in the upper 70s, low 80s, sunshine. We're in the midst of a drought.
A drought? Ooh.
Yeah, we're not getting any rain up here at all.
No, we got rain. I can give you some rain.
I'll tell you, we need it. The lawns are burning out.
Really?
Oh yeah, Northeast Ohio is getting hit with a hell of a drought, and
didn't know that.
Well, I mean, it's only patchy, the patterns of rain, and they're missing a lot of the populated areas.
Yeah, because Western Ohio gets pounded with all these tornadoes and fucking thunderstorms, and then they just veer away from Cleveland or do something.
Hey, look, if Van Wert got leveled, who would know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
Shelby.
That's I'm going to hear about this. I know I'm going to hear about this. I have nothing against Van Wert.
I have nothing against Gallion or Shelby. I've spent some time and Salina.
Yeah, but where I'm at, we keep getting missed. It's pretty amazing. So I got to get going now because I got an evening full of events on my calendar. But again, check the show description and check out the link to Mr. Moohead's latest song. It's a rap song. You're going to hate it instantly. You will want to forget it instantly. But I didn't waste your time on this podcast. I talked about sports. So I've been a good boy.
Go Browns.
Go Browns is right. And we got the Guardians coming up in another 30 minutes. But going against the number 1 rated record-wise team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, in Philadelphia. I don't want to see it.
Wow. And me and interleague play, I hate it. So
yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, Bronk. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Thanks to the people who were nice enough to stop by and check out the broadcast. And this starts the whole football thing.
And the Hedgehog of Doom.
He'll be around. He'll be around here. He'll be around in Florida. He'll be everywhere.
He'll be everywhere.
Yeah, he is eternal hedgehog. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.